Hey, good evening everybody. Tonight I'm going to show you how to make cheese puffs. This recipe is adapted from a traditional French recipe called gougère, which is sort of like pâte à choux or cream puff dough, a savory type with Gruyere cheese. Now, being in North America, most people don't have ready access to Gruyere, but they do have access to some good old-fashioned grated cheddar. This recipe is incredibly easy to make. It only has a few ingredients: flour, water, butter, cheese, and eggs. If you haven't got a stick of butter readily available, you can do it from a pound. I've got a half a pound here, so I haven't done butter math for you in a while. So if you want 6 tablespoons, each quarter of a pound is 8 tablespoons. So I've got a half here, so I'm going to cut one into a quarter and just lay it out on the plate here, and then cut it twice. And each cube is 2 tablespoons. So I'll put one back in the fridge. These are going to go in the recipe. And what you do now is just cut these into small pieces. Doesn't matter how big. The reason you're doing this is that the smaller the butter is, the pieces are, the faster it'll come to a boil. Once that's cut up, just get that to the side and measure your flour and your cheese. One thing I like about this recipe, aside from it being fast and easy to make and tasting really good too, is you only need one measuring cup for this. So if you haven't seen me do this before, what you do is you just dip a measuring cup into your flour and get a knife and pull it straight across, and that way you get exactly half a cup, and just put that in the bowl. Do that twice more. I'm using old cheddar here. You can use any kind of cheese you want as long as it melts reasonably quickly, and you can use a bit more or a bit less to your taste, whatever. Start the cup of water boiling on high, and then just add your butter to it. And watch it closely because it will boil pretty quick. And while that's coming to a boil, I got my eggs on the side, and I think I'll move my coffee maker and get the flour and cheese too. Because once you start this, you got to be fairly quick about it. And I do have 2 baking sheets ready to go, lined with parchment paper. Ideally, you should be using a wooden spoon for this, if you can. I don't know if a thin plastic one will hold up, honestly, to the stirring. Metal probably, but it sure is going to make a heck of a noise on the bottom of the pot. Once you can see that that's come to a rapid boil, grab all the flour, put it all in at once, and turn the heat down to medium immediately, and start stirring. And use the back of the spoon to pick up all the bits from the bottom of the pan. Yeah, you see what I mean? The flimsy spoon really won't handle this. So once that's all in a mass, turn the heat off completely and start cracking the eggs into it one at a time. And if you get any shells in them, dig them out at the beginning. If you've never made choux paste, or pâte à choux as they call it in French, which is you can also use for cream puffs or eclairs, it's a bit dicey at the beginning because it tends to like break into pieces and you have to chase it around the pan. And you know what? I'm going to move this off the burner that was hot to a cold one because you don't want this to cook up too much, alright? Okay, so that first one looks nearly in. You want to be pretty quick about this, so you don't have to totally stir it up right until you're finished. So once you have all the eggs beaten in, get your cheese, and the reason these are so yellow is because I always try to use free range eggs. They just have nicer yolks. I put in about half. And the rest. Now some recipes will tell you to sprinkle these with more grated cheese after. Honestly, you know, I have tried that and I find that all of it just stays on the baking sheet and burns. So I'm not doing it. I've got 2 tablespoons and my cookie sheet's prepared and the oven's hot. This is going to make 12. Now what I really like about this is the dough borrows very easily if you make one larger than the other. So don't spend too much time. It's about a spoon that large, and just drop it down and go again. And I found they bake a lot easier if you do them in triangles like that, like 2 1 2 1. If you're having trouble with the last 1 or 2, you can just get a spatula. It's a lot faster. And so this is where you take a quick visual check of who's missing what. And I got a bit left on the spatula. I'll just put right on that one because that one looked a bit short. You don't want to be taking too long about this because you want them to puff up nice. Those are all ready to go in the oven, and bake them at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. Timer went off, so it's time to get them out. Yeah, those are good. And obviously they didn't stick either. Yeah, I'll turn the tray around so you can get a nice good look at them there. They puffed up quite nicely, and there's not too many burnt bits. Things like this here, if there's a little one, you can just snap that off. Nobody will notice and they'll look much nicer. There's not too many of those. So I'm going to let these cool down for a little bit, and then I'll cut one open for you. These are warm enough to touch. I don't know if you can hear that. They're kind of crunchy too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut one open this way so you can see what the inside looks like. And that's still steaming. Okay, and they did rise quite nicely. Now, the point is, if you want to serve these as sandwiches, you can do that as well. I would definitely let them cool down. And what you can do is you can slice them this way and maybe put in, guess what? A piece of ham or some other meat that would go well with cheese, some other kind of savory stuffing, and just serve these as like brunch sandwiches or something. Honestly, they're just good warm like this. These don't keep very well, so you should just have them the same day that you're going to bake them. So there's my cheese puffs. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again.